I'm going to be addressing a very important topic. I have lost count of the number of persons I've guided to do this, and it is writing an outstanding supporting statement. How did I manage to get 2 managerial jobs in 2 consecutive months in less than 3 years? Just more over 2 years in the UK. How? It all begins with writing an outstanding supporting statement. The last video I made on this topic, it just blew up, and that was a couple of years ago. So I said I was going to do another one. What I'll do when I step out and go into the house, I'll grab my laptop and then show you an example. But first things first, if you're new to my channel, this is the time to subscribe. Yes, just click that subscribe button right there below. Turn on your notification bell, because yes, I'm back bigger and better. And now no more excuses, because there'll be no editing of these videos. I'll just put the information raw out there for you to utilize. There are lots of people struggling with different aspects of their application. There are lots of people struggling with interviews, and this is the stuff that comes to me naturally, so why not? So get ready, subscribe, click that subscribe button. Have you done that? Yes. Okay, let's dive into it. The supporting statement is that part of the NHS interview, or rather that part of the application, my dear, application where you sell yourself, where it's the part that gets read basically. So you may have stated a lot of nice stuff in the main application, but when it comes to that bit called the supporting information or the supporting statement, that is the part that you have to sell yourself. I have been in interviews, I've been a hiring manager. In fact, the last one I did, put out 4 roles, got 61 application. Imagine going through that application. Your supporting statement needs to stand out to catch my attention. So the first paragraph is key. Let's begin with the first paragraph. I tell people, put everything in the first paragraph, because if in the first paragraph you can't catch my attention, your application will just be put aside. If you can't grab the hiring manager's attention at that stage, let me tell you, your application will be put aside. And because there are always so many applications, so put everything in that first paragraph. When I say put everything, what do I really mean? I mean summarize your best stuff. Summarize in line with the person's specification. That is some of the things that people get wrong. They think the job description is more important than the person's specification. When I hop on my computer, I will show you what is called a person's specification. And it usually comes side by side with the job description. So focus on the person's specification. That means what they want the candidate to have, the kind of qualities, the kind of qualifications, the kind of experience and skills and abilities they want the person, the ideal candidate basically, to have. So you have to ensure that you meet it. When I say meet it, meet almost every one of it, and highlight it in your in your application rather. And if I were you, in my first paragraph, I'll capture like at least 1 statement. If the first paragraph has 4 statements, I will ensure I capture 1 bit of the person's specification in that 4 statements. And then you proceed to the next paragraph. What I do is make it have subheadings so that it's easy to read. Understand that it's not AI that is reading this, it's humans. I recall the last time spending the whole weekend was just blown away. Reading through applications. It's humans. So you write it in such a way that it's easy to read. Put it in paragraph, not just a continuous endless writing that nobody knows where it begins with, where's the second paragraph. So if the person's specification says 1, skills, you should have these skills, this. And next, experience. You should have this set of experiences. okay, this. And the next one, qualifications. You should have this sort of qualifications. And then there's a fourth one. So you should have 4 paragraphs basically, or more than 4 paragraphs, because you have the introduction and the conclusion, of course. But you should have 4 paragraphs in the body of the work. It's a no-brainer. Just ensure that you take it step by step. Write as a subheading experience, and you write your experience. And then let me address the elephant in the room. Should I use AI or should I not use AI? And AI is excellent. It is here to stay. And the sooner you start maximizing it, the better. But there's a way to use it with wisdom. There's a way to use it to complement your own knowledge, to complement your own abilities. It is, I feel like that's what it is here for. It is not to replace you. You can't just type in an AI platform, let's say Chat GPT, for instance, and just say, write me an application. No, you should have written your application, or you should have at least put the bits together. These are my skills, these are my experience. So it is more like a proofreader and a rewriter in good English for you, especially if your first language is not English. Okay, enough said. I've hopped on my laptop just to show you what a supporting statement look like. So you can now see it written supporting information. Supporting information fields marked with asterisks are mandatory. So they're saying you have to fill something. First off, I've already explained to you that this is where you sell yourself. So there's no way you're going to leave it blank, and it's even a mandatory field. Now, in this section, you need to demonstrate that you have read the published person specification. They even wrote it here to guide you. You should have read the person specification. Remember, they did not say you should have read the job description, even though you would have read it anyway. And then you tell us how you meet the essential and, where relevant, the desirable criteria for this post. If this is not fully covered in previous sections, please include reasons for applying and take the opportunity to highlight your particular talents, strengths, what you feel you can personally offer, what is unique to you. So that brings me to say, you recall when I said you can't just go into an AI platform like ChatGPT and just dump and just say, write me an application. Everyone is doing that. So what is unique to you? You should have written it somewhere and then put it together before you even use an AI platform to correct and augment your work. So this is this field. You can see this can take up to 1,500 words in this field. And we said they have to be a first paragraph. So let's write let's say P1. But even before the first paragraph, what I personally like to do is to go into the person's specification, and underneath you would see where it is written contact a particular person if you have additional questions or concerning the particular role. So what I do, I go there, look for that person's name, because often, this is not always the case, but often this person is the hiring manager, or in at least on the hiring team. So let's say the person's name is Mary. I say, dear Mary, and that's it. That is just to personalize it. And then, because I have seen that name and I know that that person will be on the team, this is inside information, highly classified, but you just know that that person is most likely to be on the team or one of the persons shortlisting. So you want to speak to that person directly. You want to find ways to make yours stand out by, This is you trying to speak to that person without having seen that person ever. So you know that you're supporting information or supporting statements, as some will call it, is representing you in your absence. So what you ask yourself when you write it is this convincing enough that in the midst of 61 applications, mine should be shortlisted? Have I met all of the person specification? So if this person's specification is, for example, um, let's say under experience, you have been told to have 2 years, 2 years minimum, 2 years minimum experience. You should have a minimum of 2 years or more. Not going to apply without any experience. I hope you do understand the statement. So you should make that your minimum. You should have minimum of 2 years or more. And then the first paragraph, remember how I told you to put your best stuff in the paragraph, the first paragraph. So it's the first paragraph should be a summary of your best stuff. So you want to say, thank you for the opportunity to apply for this role. Okay, personalize it that way. Thank you for the opportunity to apply for this role, or you have seen this role being advertised. Whatever way you started, make sure that in that first paragraph you're picking here and there. You go to experience, you know you have 5 years experience. You say, I have reviewed the person's specification and realized that my skills, or realize that my experience, skills, and abilities align well with the person's specification. You have to make it clear that you have reviewed the person's specification and your abilities, your skills, and your qualifications align well. So if we are taking it a paragraph by paragraph, your first paragraph will be your introduction. So I'll write introduction here. Introduction again, where I say make a summary of your best stuff. Okay. And then the second paragraph depends on the person's specification. If they do start with experience, make P2. You don't need to write out the paragraph the way I'm doing, just write experience. And maybe you can even bolden it if it allows you to, and then write out your experience, how you have 2 years, 5 years, 10 years experience doing this in alignment with that person's specification. And next paragraph will be the next thing that's put on there. So if the next bit is qualifications, there are particular qualifications they want you to have. Qualifications they want you to have. This is where you have to put it. Did you notice I'm taking it paragraph by paragraph? I'm not just writing blah 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 blah, blah continuous, no beginning, no end, just to make it easier for the person to read. Because in this sort of applications, it's usually read by humans. But in other applications, like when you're submitting your CV for outside role, especially outside the health sector, then you can have maybe ATS, you can have machines read it. But understand that these ones are read by human, and so you have to speak to the human being reading it. Okay, so don't make it organized in a way that it can easily be read. So you write your qualifications. When you're writing your qualification, you are making it correspond with that's required. If you're asked to have MSc, you should be registered with HCPC, or you should be registered with whatever your registration body is. You put it on there under qualifications. Then you have another paragraph, so let's call it P4, where you have skills and abilities. So you might have been given certain skills and abilities, just like the person, rather the person specification I showed you earlier, just you have to meet all of those. You have to meet all of those, and it's easy because you can remember. I have to go back to state this. Remember what is critical, that even after you have written, I have 2 years, I have this, I have done this and that, you would have to include an example. So maybe I should write it here: plus experience plus example. Okay, I think I need to write it because this is important. Plus example. This applies to everything. So let's copy it. And qualifications, when you state your qualifications, what did I say you should do? Plus example. You say, I have this, I have this qualification that has helped me done this, like you have used the qualification to do this in your previous role, as an example. For instance, with my qualification in healthcare management, blah, 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 I have done this in my previous role. You see how I'm linking an example to the qualification. Before someone asks me, how do you give an example of qualification? That is giving an example of what that qualification you have, what you have achieved with that qualification. Okay. And next, skills and abilities and plus example. Did you notice how example is now a thing throughout? You don't have to give a lengthy example that will take up the 1500 words. No, no, no. That's not needed. But you have to give an example, okay? And it's I like the way it's specifically stated, but some people won't even bother reading and just go to chat GPT, produce something, generate something, and paste here. When you do that, understand that that is what everybody else is doing. So your application will look like everybody else's application. Nothing to make you outstanding. And still, you wonder, even after using this, I will still pass over. That is why you have to have written an outline this way before you think of even putting it through any AI platform. So this is P5. P5, we have written experience, qualifications, skills. There's usually one last other subheading they ask for: experience, qualifications, skills, behaviors. Yes, it's called behaviors, or some people call it values. Okay, behaviors and values. Depending on what they call it what they call it. But you just write the heading according to the person's specification, because it might differ with different trusts. And let's continue to write plus example. And the final bit is paragraph 6. That's the last paragraph. Is what? Your conclusion. Simple. Your conclusion. So now you see how this is now like an outline for you to write your person's specification. You know you have to have a systematic way of writing it, making it easily readable, putting in examples throughout. So you see, I gave an example for each one. And if you want to see examples of person specification, just check in the description box. I would include links to where you can get our supporting statement bundle, where you can see examples of written person specification that you can tweak and you can use as a guide for your own work. And also, if you want your supporting statement to be reviewed, this one, I have to tell you, is a first come, first serve basis. So drop your comments in the comment section, and check the contact page in the description box where you can submit your person specification. And now is also a good time, if you're yet to do it, to click that subscribe button. Share this video with people you know this will help. This is a very common thing that applications are like done almost every day. So you want to use this to help someone. You may not be applying right now, but you can save this video for when you're applying for your next role, and you can share with somebody who is applying. Okay, so this is the way to write it. Do your introduction. Introduction should be a summary of, it should be like a hook. Think of your introduction as your hook. So it should be like a summary of your best stuff. So put it all there in a few words, and in the example supporting statements in the link I would put below, you would see some life already written supporting statement. Then you go to your experience, state your experience. Don't just use the AI without having written out your experience before you put it through there. Okay, so this is me teaching you how to use it and how to use it to complement your own knowledge, what you have written, the outline you have written. You put it in there because only you know your experience. Only you know your qualifications. You have to tell it, and not for it to just generate something that it's been generating from everyone else. Okay, you have to know how these things work, and then a conclusion should also be brief and sort of a summary and like a call to action to say that you are interested in this role and you would like to be contacted. Okay, and if you've gotten value from this video, subscribe, like, share to someone who requires it, and you would see the example supporting statements where you can download in the links included in the description box below. Now, once you have written this and you have proofread it, you can use Grammarly, you can go straight. Then, after you have written and done the outline, you can then go and use. And if you really want me to demonstrate in detail how to use AI to write your applications, your CV, your supporting information, please comment below and let me know that, so that I'll make it one of my next video to do exactly that. Then you save, remember to save, and remember to check, because sometimes this box times out. So what I usually advise people is, you can write all of this bits, and you see, as I have taken time to explain to you, you can write it on a Word document and then pick it up from there. After you have proofread it, put it through Grammarly or whatever AI tool you want to use, then you copy it totally and paste it. There's no need to write thank you or write your name under, because you're trying to, that will only create bias. So you're trying to leave your name out. You don't have to say thank you or yours sincerely like in a letter format. No, leave your name out, because let me tell you, at this point, the hiring manager doesn't really know who is who, unless there are certain things in your application that would give you away. So you want to reduce bias as much as possible. Okay? Reduce bias as much as possible. If you know you are from countries where you feel like you would be, maybe your application might not be looked upon favorably, there's a way to leave out your name and to leave out details that will ensure that any form of bias is reduced, because those initial parts of the interview, those initial parts of the application rather, is held back by HR, and the supporting information is just released to the hiring manager to shortlist. So reduce bias by reducing things that would, give you a way if you feel like you are from certain countries that wouldn't be looked upon favorably. I hope this helps. Let me know. Just drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what exactly you're applying for, and I will come on there to give you customized answers and respond to your comments.